What's good, y'all? It is your humble Rōnin here with another live episode of Lounge Rōnin, all things, everything. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Let us get into it. So on this episode, we're going to be discussing Disney's Boy Trouble. Studio seeks original IP to win back Gen Z men amid Marvel and Lucasfilm struggles. All set on some technical issues. Apologies. All right, let's get into this article. All set on some technical issues. Yep. All right, we're good. Sorry about that, guys. Just wanted to clear up the audio. Yeah. Let's get this together. Yeah, that's the correct one. Let's pull up the article. There we go. Okay. So I was a responsible person. I read the article and I highlighted it. So we're just going to read the highlighted parts and just go from there. Hit the hot spots and get on out. So this article was written by Matt Doley. Men amid Marvel Lucasfilm struggles. Leadership at Walt Disney Studios has been pressing Hollywood creatives in recent months, multiple sources tell Variety, for movies that will bring young men back to the brand in a meaningful way. You know what's kind of funny about this is, and I'll give credit to where to due. There's a guy who runs a channel called Film Threat. His name is Chris Gore. Bit of a bitch, but that's besides the point. He made a really, really good point. He said, making Star Wars a girl brand is the biggest entertainment failure in modern day history. He said that along those lines. And he's not wrong. Disney has had Star Wars for 10 plus years. And they have fucked it up so badly that they are now forced to seek out original ideas in IP because they have ran Lucasfilm's IP into the ground. Nobody has any interest in watching any of the new Star Wars shows. I can assure you nobody is reading any of the Star Wars comics or books. And so now they are forced to look for original concepts to bring back the young plus years alienating on purpose? Keep in mind, Disney and Lucasfilm and Marvel Studios purposely alienated and pushed out the young men. They didn't want them as customers. They made it very, very apparent in their creative choices, in the choices that they said publicly about their customers. They pushed out the young men. They alienated them. And now that the virtue signaling dust has settled, they're now looking at their wallets and all they see are moths. What did Obi-Wan say to Anakin? You've done that to yourself. You've allowed this dark lord to manipulate and corrupt you. No different than Disney. Gen Z men in particular are lonely, gaming-obsessed group who were hampered in their formative years by COVID-19 lockdowns. Excuse me. Not the easiest segment to grasp. But what's surprising producers, writers, and other partners in a larger industry is that Disney has been calling for original concepts to lure the demo back to the movies. Yeah, because they screwed them over. It's ironic that it's Disney that's quote unquote leading the charge and trying to get young men back into the movies and into entertainment when you are literally the sole responsibility for them being alienated and abandoning your content. You decided to make Star Wars into a girl brand. You decided to lead with Daisy Ridley as a protagonist instead of John Boyega. You decided to make the decisions that you made with Marvel Studios. This is one of those situations where the customer is always right, but they don't even want to acknowledge the customer. They just want to pretend to do it, that they've done everything. Some new original IP that's just going to hit exactly what they want, and they're totally going to abandon Star Wars. I'm telling you right now. It's already happening. If they're looking for original IPs and concepts, they're done with Star Wars. Doomsday is still being written. The script isn't completed. Half the film has been shot. It's over for Marvel. It's over for Lucasfilm. And I think Disney knows that. I truly do. Excuse me. Continue. The sources say Disney has been seeking new IP and pitches such as splashy global adventures and treasure hunts, as well as seasonal fare-like films for the Halloween corridor. The calls come as Star Wars Machine struggles to produce any film project, and the superhero genre sheds audiences by the minute. See, like I said, I just told you, Disney knows it's over for Star Wars. They know that they've ran that into the ground, into the center of the Earth's core, and fried that motherfucker into oblivion. They know that. They know that they've done the exact same thing with Marvel Studios. I covered it yesterday. Bo DeMeo, who created X-Men 97, sequel animated show to the X-Men show, he admitted that Kevin Feige was pissed at him because people were comparing the quality of Beau DeMayo's animated TV show to the lack of quality in the films and television that Marvel was producing. And the studio, they never did a celebration party for the crew. Kevin and studio heads did not show up to the premiere for X-Men 97. They sabotaged a creator due to the fact that he was creatively more invested and more skilled than they were. Excuse me, had a little cough there. I'm telling you right now, this is it. Star Wars is dead. Ahsoka Tano season 2 is not going to save it. Okay, it's not going to save it. The Mandalorian film is not going to save it. Avengers Doomsday is not going to save Marvel Studios. It's a wrap. All right, it's a walking carcass that's not even self-aware that it's dead yet. Let's continue. While two insiders say the mandate to recruit young males goes as high as the Sisu, the task primarily has fallen on David Greenbaum, the former Searchlight Pictures co-head brought in 2014 to run Disney's live-action film business. You're not going to find any young men who, one, you've essentially pussified these films. And I'm like, yo, this is a real actor. This is a real man. You don't have any more of that in Hollywood. All you have left is Tom Cruise. You won't give Michael Jai White a day in the sun, despite the fact that he's literally a man's man and probably one of the best martial artists. Don't want them because they don't fit the ideology. So then you drag in pretty boys like Timothy Olyphant. Ain't nobody give a fuck about him. I'm just saying, you have literally neutered young men with the quality of content that you made and the lack of and purposely alienating young men. You've neutered them. Where are you going to find new recruitment? You've neutered the fuck out of them. Especially the white man. That's a whole nother conversation. To say nothing of lackluster attempt to reboot and hand off Indiana Jones in 2023, and we all saw how well that turned out, which earned $380 million worldwide on a $300 million budget before marketing costs, meaning it was a financial failure. You decided to take a boy brand like Indiana Jones and you tried to pass the torch off to a woman who hates Indiana Jones. I've seen the clips. And you wonder why it failed. All you had to do was get Chris Pratt boy brands into girl brands, and then you're wondering why you're losing hundreds of millions of dollars. A Disney source says that movies for Gen Z men are part of an overall strategy across all labels, but no more urgent than any other quadrant. See? You need it, but you don't care enough about it. You need the young men. They're the only thing that made any money, whether it was toys, video games, movies. But you're not that interested. I mean, Look at look at the state of Pixar. Their recently was they had to turn the boy straight because he was going to be queer and it was going to be this queer story, and the heads at Disney were like, "Do you want to make any money on this film?" It made no money. They changed it, but this is what I'm saying. You're neutering young men and turning them into things that they are not, nor are they ready to have those type of conversations. But that's propaganda for you. And Disney is rife with that. Let's continue. Green Bum, because that's what his name looks like. Green Bum is beloved by talent, but has largely existed in the prestige indie sphere. While Craig Shepard films from franchises like Sonic the Hedgehog, A Quiet Place, and Smile, some think the push for this demographic is simply Greenbaum trying to put his stamp on live action. Well, I mean, isn't that what they all do? Sure, they'll push an agenda, but it's also for their own personal gain. What are we doing here? How are we that stupid? Yet numerous power players who spoke with Variety see something ominous in the tea leaves. When the execution is correct, Disney's sweet spot at the movie has been millennials. The generation rapidly consumed classics like The Lion King, 100 Dalmatians, Lilo and Stitch as kids. Now they bring their children to droves to see live-action reboots. This year's billion-dollar grosser, Lilo and Stitch, over-indexed with men and boys. Disney previously said Gen Z is a different story. I don't even believe that. I'm a millennial. I didn't see the live-action Lion King. I didn't see the live-action Lilo Stitch. I don't know anyone that went and saw them. Now, what happened with the Lilo and Stitch is you guys got lucky. And because you guys got lucky, you're like, let's make a bunch of sequels. Why? And this is the problem. They reboot a film, it manages somehow to become successful, and then they will milk that motherfucker dry, and even then, they still tugging on those fucking udders. They're one, they don't have anyone who has the qualifications to produce the quality needed to bring back Gen Z and to maintain millennials' interests. They don't. We've seen it. Think about this right now. The most successful films right now that we've seen so far, Sinners, original concept, free of studio influence. Weapons, original concept, free of studio influence. Superman, based on a comic book series, free from the influence of the studio, made solely to make a quality film. There's a reason why Superman has outperformed Fantastic Four in every demographic. Because that's a film that listens to the customers. Remember, you have people out there that have been shouting to the moon, complaining about their issues with the quality of Disney and Lucasfilm. But they don't like their customers, nor do they respect them, and they purposely alienate them. How that all turned out. I saw all the episodes. It had a very interesting concept, but boy oh boy did they have no fucking clue what to do with it. And that's another issue. You don't have quality control and you don't have qualifications to meet the quality control. You don't have it anymore. Lucasfilm doesn't have it. Marvel Studios sure as fuck doesn't have it. By finding new or original IPs that they can fix and revitalize the dead body that they have torn to pieces. It even says it here, right here. A Minecraft movie to nearly $1 billion haul. That was a game Gen Z played as very small kids. Not to mention the euphoric viral moments it created for young men filming key moments inside multiplexes and sharing them on platforms like TikTok. Many of those people got a doing. So now that's another thing that they're going to look for, the next pop. You see this issue going on right now with WWE. There's no consistency in the story, and they're lacking quality in the performances and in the stories, and all they're going for is the next pop. And now that you're going to start charging people $30 to watch PLEs, good luck, especially when you lack in the quality to make someone want to invest that type of money and time. And that's what you're seeing going on here with Disney Lucasfilm. No one has interest in investing their money in the quality of what they have been producing as of late. Disney is not leaving the job of courting Gen Z entirely up to the film group. Concurrent to Greenbund's hire, the corporation bought a $1.5 billion equity stake in gaming juggernaut Fortnite, which will incorporate Disney's iconic stable of characters. Two sources that Disney does not, however, enjoy movie rights to Fortnite itself, which would seem a no-brainer in luring Gen Z to the theaters. Well, these egotism and psychopathy. These aren't intelligent people. I don't see a new Star Wars movie. It's in Fortnite. That's not getting Gen Z. Bro, they don't even play Fortnite anymore. And the fact that Disney thinks that by getting a big stake in Fortnite and pushing their films is stupid. That ship has long since passed. Fortnite isn't relevant like that anymore. But here, that's the problem with, they don't even know what's relevant anymore. They're chasing past relevancy while the future relevance is constantly evolving. It's so silly. Let's continue. So it's staggering to viral studios and deal makers that Disney is looking to blaze new trails after years of being the envy of the town. Down. You want to know why? Look at Epic Universe. All right. Disneyland. People have seen the blood in the water with Disney for a long fucking time now. And they're taking their opportunities. Marvel's content hasn't been relevant post Infinity War. Star Wars hasn't been relevant since, I would have to say, The Last Jedi. Because you don't hear anybody talking about the rise of Skywalker. Nobody. You don't hear anybody talking about The Mandalorian Season 3. You don't hear anyone talking about any of it. Other studios see what you've done. And now they're trying to fix it by actually taking chances on original stuff. You can say what you want about A24, but at least they're pumping out new original content and ideas. At least they're taking chances. Say what you will about Apple Plus. They're constantly taking chances. I'm currently watching Jason Momoa's show Chief of War. It's an incredible show. The quality of the writing, the performances, the set pieces, the fight choreography, it's all there. There are other streaming services that are doing way better than Disney. Look at Alien Earth. Sure, it's under Disney's banner, but Disney doesn't have its little grimy crust all over it. There's a reason why it has such good quality. I don't know how blatantly obvious it needs credit, that they've been a bit obvious, they've been a bit more transparent, and they're not sucking the taint off of Disney as much as they normally do. So I'll give them that credit. At least they're not sucking the tape too much. But the fact remains is that Disney has lost trillions and trillions of dollars in the IP of Marvel and Disney, of Marvel and Star Wars. They've lost trillions. They'll never be able to recoup those losses because they have destroyed those IPs in such a manner that you've alienated your audience. And your audience doesn't trust you anymore. They wait for the post-credit scenes and the clips to come out on YouTube before they even consider going to see the film. Or they just wait until it comes on digital. No one's buying your toys anymore. Your quality of your toys is terrible. You don't fantastic first steps, which aim to launch yet another superhero franchise led by for Superman 2. You don't hear anything about Fantastic Four 2. Nothing. In fact, I don't think you're going to get a Fantastic Four 2. I don't think you will. It wasn't that good. People were like, yeah, it was okay. Yeah, it's all right. But then other people are like, wait a minute, you just copied the same storyline from Rise of the Silver Surfer. So it's not even like you took an original idea or based it off of any of the actual comic book story arcs. But as we learned yesterday from Bo DeMayo, they only have one person reading the comics, and then they make a script development from ideas. So there's no real creative strategy in making their products. Despite the good reviews and promising opening weekend and the full attention of Marvel Caesar Kevin Feige, Star Wars has not produced a film in 7 years. A big screen adaptation of Disney Plus hit The Mandalorian is coming next year. It's been 7 years since the last Star Wars film. And Rise of Skywalker. They should have called it The Fall of Lucasfilm. Because boy oh boy did that film fail. Bible says every studio should be looking for originals, as sequels and reboots continue to exhaust the culture, even if they're packing in moviegoers in the. I never thought I'd say it, the executive mused about the Magic Kingdom's Boy Trouble despite its gem box of iconic IP, but it looks like Disney is going to have to start trying. Look at that. He said the quiet part out loud. It looks like Disney's going to have to start trying. And like I said, they alienated the young men. They purposely did that because that was their goal. They didn't want young men as their demographic anymore. Star Wars, when George Lucas himself said it is for 12-year-old boys. And you wondering why your quality is failing. They're like I said, Lucasfilm, Disney, Marvel, it's over. It's over with them. James Gunn and DC, they're in a different situation because you actually have someone that respects the customer and the source material. That's the difference between Kevin Feige and James Gunn. James Gunn respects the customer and he respects the source material. Kevin Feige does not respect the customer and he despises the source material. So that's why you have this situation right now. That's why it's so easy to compare Fantastic Four to Superman and which one people like more. The customer is always right. You would think Disney would have remembered that. But we live in this age where you have these corporations that live off of their ideology and get high off their own supply. So, I would say for anyone out there who's, a Lucasfilm, Star Wars fan, Marvel fan, whatever it may be, I would say look for new content, look for new IPs, look for new stuff, because you're not going to get anything good from Lucasfilm or Marvel anytime soon. Like I said, Avengers Doomsday, half of the film has been shot, yet half of the script hasn't even been finished. And I said a month ago that if Fantastic Four is not a financial success, then Doomsday will fail. And that's been made very apparent. When Doomsday comes out and it fails, that's it for Marvel Studios. When the Mandalorian film comes out next year by Lucasfilm and that fails, that's it for Star Wars. I'm telling you right now, that will be the end of those franchises. They will close those chapters and they will start looking for new content to destroy and tear apart. They don't know any better. They don't know any different. So we'll see how it all plays out. Please let me know down in the comment section your thoughts, feelings, and speculations on the future of Marvel Studios, Lucasfilm. Did you see Fantastic Four? Did you enjoy it or not? Did you see Superman? Did you enjoy it or not? Let me know. What do you think is going to be the outcome if Lucasfilm and Marvel Studio fails with their next big projects? What do you think the landscape's going to be? Let me know down in the comments section. And if you made it this far, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and until next time, stay positive.